Pregnancy is one of the most beautiful journeys a woman can experience. But let's be honest, it can also bring fear, stress, and endless questions. What if there was a way to feel calmer, stronger, and more connected to your baby every single day? In this video, you're going to discover powerful prenatal techniques that every pregnant woman can use not just to prepare for labor, but to transform the entire pregnancy experience. And at the heart of it all lies one simple practice that can change everything: diaphragmatic breathing. Stay with me, because what you'll learn today could be the key to a healthier, happier pregnancy for both you and your baby. Anna had always imagined pregnancy as a time of glowing serenity, a chapter filled with joy, anticipation, and the quiet rhythm of preparing for new life. Yet when she found herself in the heart of her own pregnancy, she discovered that reality held a complexity she had not fully anticipated. Between waves of fatigue, moments of anxiety, and the uncharted landscape of her changing body, she began to realize that carrying a child was both a physical transformation and a profound inner journey. It was during one of these moments, restless, unable to find comfort in her own breath, that Anna first heard about the importance of prenatal techniques for pregnant women. These techniques, she learned, were not simply about preparing the body for labor. They were gateways into deeper self-awareness, tools that offered physical ease, emotional balance, and mental clarity. They were practices designed to help women remain grounded, calm, and connected to their own strength during a time when their world was shifting. And among these practices, one stood out as both ancient and timeless: diaphragmatic breathing. Anna's journey into learning these techniques began with curiosity, but quickly grew into something more profound. She discovered that prenatal practices were not just medical advice or routine exercises. They were acts of self-care that honored both the mother and the child. Guided by gentle instructors, supportive books, and her own inner voice, she began to explore the landscape of breathing, stretching, visualization, and mindful awareness. The more she practiced, the more she realized that these techniques had the power to transform her experience of pregnancy itself. The foundation of prenatal techniques for pregnant women can be seen as a holistic system of preparation. They range from physical practices, such as gentle yoga poses and pelvic floor exercises, to mental practices, like guided imagery and meditation. They also include emotional strategies, affirmations, journaling, or listening to soothing music that create a nurturing environment for both mother and baby. For Anna, the discovery that such a variety of methods existed was both exciting and overwhelming. She had never imagined that so many small, intentional actions could have such a significant impact on her well-being. Her instructor explained to her that prenatal techniques work on 3 interconnected levels: physical support, easing discomfort, strengthening the body for childbirth, and promoting circulation; mental focus, reducing anxiety, sharpening concentration, and encouraging resilience during labor; emotional balance, cultivating a sense of calm, trust, and connection with the unborn child. But before exploring every branch of these practices, Anna was encouraged to begin with the simplest yet most transformative technique: her breath, discovering the breath within. It was during her first prenatal class that Anna was introduced to diaphragmatic breathing, often called belly breathing. At first, it sounded deceptively simple. She was instructed to place one hand on her chest and the other on her abdomen, close her eyes, and notice where the breath naturally flowed. To her surprise, she realized that most of her breathing was shallow, confined to her upper chest. Her instructor gently explained that many people live this way. But during pregnancy, learning to breathe deeply into the diaphragm could change everything. Diaphragmatic breathing works by engaging the large muscle beneath the lungs, allowing air to fill the lower lungs fully and efficiently. As Anna learned to direct her breath downward, she felt her abdomen rise gently with each inhalation and fall with each exhalation. The rhythm was calming, almost like a wave moving through her body. Her instructor explained the benefits. It increases oxygen supply for both mother and baby. It reduces tension in the muscles, especially in the shoulders and back. It lowers heart rate and promotes relaxation. It prepares the body for the focused breathing often needed during labor. For Anna, however, the most profound discovery was the immediate sense of peace. With each deep breath, her anxiety softened. She felt connected not only to her own body, but also to the tiny life growing within her. The practice of diaphragmatic breathing. Anna began practicing diaphragmatic breathing every morning and evening. She would sit comfortably, her back supported, her hands resting on her belly. Slowly, she inhaled through her nose, imagining the breath traveling all the way down into her abdomen. She counted to 4, held the fullness for a moment, and then exhaled gently through her mouth, allowing her body to soften. At first, her mind wandered. She thought about errands, work deadlines, or the endless list of preparations for the baby's arrival. But gradually, as days turned into weeks, she discovered that this breathing practice became a ritual, a time of stillness that belonged only to her and her child. Each breath was like a whispered reassurance. You are safe. You are strong. You are enough. As her pregnancy progressed, Anna noticed the changes. Her sleep improved, her backaches lessened, and the sharp edges of her anxiety began to dissolve. She also discovered that diaphragmatic breathing helped her handle daily stress. When a wave of worry or fatigue came, she closed her eyes, placed her hand on her abdomen, and breathed deeply. In just a few cycles, she felt centered again. Expanding the toolkit, other prenatal techniques. Encouraged by her progress, Anna expanded her exploration. She discovered that prenatal techniques for pregnant women were like threads woven into a single tapestry, each one adding strength and beauty to the whole. Gentle movement and stretching. She practiced light yoga, focusing on poses that opened her hips and relieved tension in her back. Each movement was done slowly, in harmony with her breath, transforming exercise into meditation, visualization, and guided imagery. At night, she listened to recordings that guided her through serene landscapes. A quiet beach, a forest filled with soft light, or a meadow where she could imagine meeting her baby. These mental journeys helped her replace fear with hope. Affirmations and positive language. Anna wrote short affirmations and placed them around her home. My body knows how to give birth. I trust the process of life. I am strong, and my baby is safe. Seeing these words daily shaped her mindset and calmed her doubts. Pelvic floor exercises. She learned the importance of strengthening her pelvic floor, not only for childbirth but also for recovery afterward. These exercises, though subtle, gave her a sense of empowerment and control over her body. Mindful connection with the baby. Each evening, Anna placed her hands on her belly and spoke softly to her child. She sang lullabies, whispered dreams, and simply sat in silence, imagining the bond between them growing stronger. The educational core. Why it matters. Through her journey, Anna realized that prenatal techniques were not luxuries or optional practices. They were essential tools for every pregnant woman. Medical research supported what she felt intuitively, that these techniques reduced complications, lowered stress hormones, and promoted healthier outcomes for both mother and baby. But beyond the science, there was something deeply human about them. They reminded women to slow down, to honor their bodies, and to embrace the sacredness of the moment. Pregnancy, after all, was not only about the arrival of new life, but also about the transformation of the woman herself. The day of labor. When the time finally came, Anna carried her toolkit of practices with her. The contractions began, sharp and undeniable, yet she was not afraid. She closed her eyes, placed her hand on her abdomen, and began her diaphragmatic breathing. The same wave-like rhythm that had carried her through restless nights now carried her through the intensity of labor. Between each contraction, she found rest in her breath. She repeated her affirmations, visualized her baby's arrival, and trusted the wisdom of her body. Hours later, as she held her newborn for the first time, Anna realized that the techniques had not only prepared her for childbirth, but had also shaped her into a more resilient, present, and compassionate version of herself. She had learned that the true power of prenatal techniques lies not only in physical preparation, but in the inner transformation they inspire. A message for every woman. Anna's story is both personal and universal. Every pregnant woman walks her own path, filled with unique challenges and joys. Yet the practices she embraced, especially the grounding strength of diaphragmatic breathing, are available to all. They require no special equipment, only willingness, patience, and self-compassion. For women stepping into the mystery of pregnancy, these techniques can serve as companions, guiding them toward strength and connection. They remind mothers to be that they are not merely waiting for a new life to arrive. They are actively shaping the environment in which that life begins. Final reflection. Pregnancy is a journey of transformation. Through prenatal techniques for pregnant women, such as gentle movement, visualization, affirmations, and especially the power of diaphragmatic breathing, women can find balance, ease, and empowerment. These practices do more than prepare the body for labor. They nurture the mind and spirit, creating harmony between mother and child. Anna's story reminds us that within every breath lies the possibility of calm. Within every technique lies a tool for resilience. and within every mother lies the wisdom to guide new life into the world.